who did you vote for in the last election?
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, what difference does it make? It's not like my vote would have mattered.
Are you happy with how things are going?
I don't complain.
Well, there you go. A conversation probably playing out in a lot of kitchens all across the country. We mentioned some new competition entering the 2016 race as well. Well, that was a campaign ad put out by former IRS Commissioner Mark Everson. He is now running for president and joining us live. It's good to have you with us, sir.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Mark, so you worked on Ronald Reagan's 1986 Immigration Amnesty Act, which will kind of, I guess, impact your decision on how you plan to tackle the immigration issue. Number one, do you think this is the most important issue before the candidates today? Number two, how do you plan on dealing with it?
I've got a 6-point program that anybody can find at markforamerica.com. I think they're all important points. That's what I would say. On immigration, for sure, this is a critical issue. We need to make some decisions. We just can't kick this can down the road. We need to change the legal system so that we are bringing people into the country in the legal system that can benefit the country economically.
And when you say change the legal system, do you mean providing some sort of pathway to citizenship or changing the way folks can actually enter this country before they leave their own countries?
The legal system, I mean by whether you come because of family unification or whether you come for economic reasons to help our workforce. That's one point. Then we need to control the borders, do a better job on that. And that is not just a fence, as some would imply. It's also control of issuance of visas because many people overstay their visas. Then we need to work on the employment verification, E-Verify, if you will, so that when somebody applies for a job, the employer checks and establishes whether they have the right to work. That, if you do those things, and that chokes off the future illegal immigration, then you're left with the question of what do you do with the 11 million people who are here and who are not here legally.
And what do you do with?
Go ahead. I do suggest that if you haven't committed crimes, if you've been productive, paying your taxes, yes, I would provide an amnesty and a path to citizenship. I say this because I've lived in Turkey, which has become Islamic, moved from its secular tradition. I've lived in France, which has an incoherence. They don't have the tradition of assimilation. I want to bring back the tradition of assimilation. Yes, have people learn English, and we need to be all pulling in the same direction, lest we follow Europe and France into incoherence, chaos, and grave divisions over how to deal with radical Islam. We need to be all
Mark, I want to ask you one more
direction.
question because we only have about a minute left, too, and I think this is interesting as well.
Sure.
You want to go back to a military draft. How are you going to convince people to support that idea?
Oh, it's a big question, but we've lost our sense of shared sacrifice. Some communities are bearing the burden disproportionately. I just think it will all cause us to have a very important conversation, not about what it means to be a Republican or Democrat, but what it means to be an American. We need to all have skin in the game, even the rich and powerful, and that'll be a good thing for the conversations we have about America going down the road.
All right, I want to go, before we go away, one more question, about 20 seconds left. Obviously, name recognition plays a lot into a presidential race. Not exactly a Clinton or Bush attack to Everson's last name. How do you plan to get your name in that same conversation?
Look, I've got an office out in Iowa. I'll be out there tomorrow at the Lynn County Lincoln Dinner. I'll be in Cerro Gordo near Mason City on Monday night doing another event.
All right, so some good old-fashioned retail politicking. That's your plan?
Of course.
All right.
Listen, Wall Street can't buy this election. That's what I think.
All right, well, Bernie Sanders saying some similar things today. Interesting take from you. Mark Everson, so good to be with you today, and good luck on your run.